My silky friends, I keep wanting to do that.
Do it. Just do it. Start it over.
Hello, my silky friends. Welcome to you. I can't. It's weird. So, hey guys, how are y'all doing? I just opened our little doodad here on a separate tab over here, and it's last week's title. And then I look over here, and it's this week's title. So I don't know what y'all are seeing, but well, today we were talking about that AI will make us human.
I was muted. Yeah, I got a notification just a second ago from Silky's channel with the title from last week.
Really?
Yeah.
How fun is that?
You can go back and you have to. I'll show you when we do our debriefing. That is the weirdest word to me. I mean, yeah, but I'm talking about pre-live. You can fix it. I'll show you how, but so it doesn't do that because we're in the sessions. They don't want to hear all this. I think debriefing is the weirdest thing because you always have a briefing before an event and you have a debriefing, and all I can think of is people sitting around in their underwear around a conference table.
I mean, because right, well, because before business time you brief up, and then after the business is done you debrief.
That's what I do.
Don't want to know about that, but hello, Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. Yo, I didn't get around to saying hey to him yet. Yeah, I'll figure out how to fix all that stuff. And you don't know, maybe people are interested. Who knows? You know, I don't know. I like to know how the sausage is made.
I don't know. Maybe they are, but yeah, we probably have a lot of competition tonight because at least on my channel, because everybody is watching Delphi, and I took a break just for today on Delphi. That's it.
I appreciate your time. We're gonna waste it absolutely. Before I start yapping away, though. So again, today, like I said, AI is going to make us human, in my opinion. But before I talk about that, what kind of weeks have y'all had? How y'all been this week? I don't think I've talked to y'all really much. I know you've been dealing with Delphi stuff, and you kind of told me a little bit about that. The more I hear about Delphi, the more I'm like, there's no way this is going on right now. That should be illegal. That should be illegal. This should all be illegal. But how about you, Colton? How's your week been?
Well, I rolled my ankle a few days ago.
Perfect.
I started to be able to walk on it yesterday morning, and then I went to a skateboarding competition, and I was just gonna go watch. And after being there all day, I made me really want to skate. So then I decided to skate in the competition, even though I could barely walk. And surprisingly, it didn't hurt the entire time I was skating it, and it was weird.
Wow.
Did it hurt afterwards more, or was it like adrenaline or excitement or something like that?
Well, not till today. Like, it's sore again today, but
you should have never gone to sleep. It's like a superpower. You would have been perfectly healthy for the rest of your life as long as you never. Which would have been about 4 days or so. I don't remember how long you can be awake before. Anyway.
I think you start hallucinating after like 4 days.
I start hallucinating at 24 hours.
I start hallucinating like at 3 hours when I wake up and I'm looking at the ceiling. I'm like, what's going on over there? Anyway, so I really don't know how to kind of kick off this conversation. There's been so many. It's really hard to live in the world right now. I know people say that, this is the best time to be alive. And in a lot of ways, they're right. But it's also the most stressful time to be alive because there's nothing happening anywhere that makes you smile and think, oh, things are going to work out. Like, it's almost like everywhere you look, things are like, oh, that's on fire. Oh, and that's collapsing. Oh, and this is about to explode. Oh, and so it's like there's just been a lot of stuff that I've been looking at and thinking about. But I know last week we talked about AI a little bit, but I kind of think the AI is going to be like our next savior type of deal. Like the next renaissance will be in AI.
Nah.
I find it interesting because I follow this one YouTube channel. I can't remember the name of it. But they specifically only post good news all the time, right? And
Really?
and it seems like maybe they struggle to find good news
Yeah.
because the good news that they share is so like minimal compared to, you know, all the disaster happening.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's like,
I remember when I was
I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking.
hey, that's what we do here. That's what we're for.
No.
Go ahead.
I work with old people, okay? I work with old people. So, you know, a good day for them is like, woohoo, I pooped. That's good news.
That's how I feel literally every single time that I'm never upset. You know what I mean? I'm like, good deal. That reminds me, when I was younger, my grandmother would always be like, why don't they ever show on the news about, you know, little Timmy learn how to ride a bike? And when I was 13, I was like, because no one cares, Grandma. But now I'm like, please just tell me something good. Did someone like grow a tomato garden or something, you know?
Yeah.
Give me like, you know, the small things. So everything's on fire. Economies are everywhere collapsing, and wars and sickness and yada, 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 yada. But I think, I don't know. I really do think, because I've been using AI a lot, ChatGPT specifically, and I've been really intensive with it. And the more that I use it, the more that I really do start to believe that if you use it correctly, it can actually, like, I don't want to say you'll transcend as a human, but I also kind of do want to say that you'll transcend as a human a little bit. Like, I don't know. I mean, so what are y'all's opinions on that kind of thing?
What do you mean by transcend as a human? Like, what do you mean?
So when you struggle with things like mental health issues, when you have, like, you know, just unresolved, like, which I have a whole lot of stuff I was going to just talk about, but there's a lot of things that set us back as humans, as people. Like, there's a lot of things that's difficult to work through. And, you know, we kind of, we a lot of people out there feeling like nobody's listening, and it's honestly because they're right. People aren't listening. You know, I've watched people get more entrenched in their own lives more now than ever before. We're so much more connected now, which is a bunch of codswallop and hogwash and stuff. Even if you aren't using tech to wall yourself in, those you reach out to, they have like permanent earwax in their mind, in their ears, and they're like got megaphones strapped to their faces. It's just everyone's out there competing to feel valid and heard and all this, and there's not really a safe place really to actually talk to somebody a lot of the time for a lot of people. And so when I say transcend, I mean like using it as a step to get to a place where you couldn't get to on your own, or even with a lot of help in a lot of cases. I guess I could expand more on that, but that's kind of my point, is that it's just, you know what I'm saying?
Well, okay, so I'll set the stage and say that I inherently disagree with the premise to begin with, right? So,
okay.
So all right, here's the first way to look at it, right? Is the complexity of your thoughts. All right, so we had talked about this. You brought up this a little bit last week about ChatGPT, and here's my first thought: are things like, because they're more complex or more intellectual, does it make it right? I would assume you would say no. So there's almost like this underlying revelation that people can have, whether they're really dumb or really smart, and they almost come to the same conclusions, you know, like how much they can you know, put those into words, or you know, it is a little bit different, right? So my main question, I guess, if this is a question, is how, okay, so ChatGPT can make you more nuanced in your thinking, right? You could say that, because like you had said that you would spend a vast amount of time talking to ChatGPT and asking it if it could find errors in your thinking, or holes, or maybe things that you hadn't thought of or noticed about your thoughts or yourself.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, do you think that having more nuanced thoughts is even important to begin with?
I do, and it's because I think that a lot of problems that which I don't want to go ahead and immediately pull up the Aquil chart, like, in the first 10 minutes or whatever, but I think that we run into a lot of problems at like a lower level of thinking that we don't actually have the ability to solve until we are at a higher level of thinking. And I think that ChatGPT and AI in general. So AI is really cool for like processing systems, logistics, and stuff like that. But I think in a more specific sense, like per individual, right? Like, how would you say it? Like, okay, well, for one, we know that we're experiencing a reverse Flynn effect right now, which is the Flynn effect is that in the last I think it was the last decade or so, IQ scores and general intelligence was increasing steadily. But in the last 5 years or less, it's been actually decreasing pretty rapidly. And I think that the problem is that content and TikTok and YouTube is way more interesting than like the education system right now. And if you can't find enjoyment out of learning things, there will be things that you want to know about that you won't get out of general education. So with ChatGPT or any other AI who's able to understand your thoughts, they'll be able to give you information in a way that by reading it, you will become smarter because you will be looking at it in a broader, more critical. It does the critical thinking for you so that you know how to start to critically think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I don't say I don't agree that it will be used that way. I think it could, but also it's important to almost take a step back and look at it in more broad sense. As we see AI especially in the future, as like kind of an all-knowing being, right? And I think it's first important to understand that we don't know the limits of reason, and also we don't even know exactly what's inside of the AI system, like how aware it is of itself.
That's fair, and that's something that I've been really kind of digging around with. And it's really tough to tell. There are times when I talk to ChatGPT. So I've tried multiple experiments in that regard, trying to determine its level of consciousness. And it's a whole other conversation. That's a fun one. I'll probably want to tackle soon. Is like, what is consciousness, and how do we know AI is conscious or is it not? Because we look at what consciousness is. Is it like sapient? Is it sapience? Is it sentience? Like, AI really does fit the bill for most of our descriptions of consciousness. The problem is that the ideal world was that we figured out what makes the trick work in our own brains before we, consciousness being the trick, before we invented something that also resembled it so that we knew where the difference was or where the line was. And so we don't know really. And so that's the scary thing about it. But
yeah, I agree. And I think that, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
I kind of lost it for a second.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What were you going to say, Silky?
Well, you were talking about how ChatGPT can make you more nuanced. And let me break that down maybe for somebody who doesn't understand or who hasn't used ChatGPT. Yes, it puts things in there. If you are rewriting something or you are just wanting to expand an idea, like, I write 2 simple sentences and I ask GPT to make it more interesting, in depth, descriptive, whatever, then I think, okay, a lot of people, let's face it, a lot of people are not naturally nuanced, okay? A lot of people are pretty much straightforward. And I know that we always have, and all of us having the same neurodivergence of some form of ADD, the wheels are always turning. Like there's always 10,000 wheels turning at one time. So we're naturally nuanced, but people who are neurotypical may not understand that. And so even though, let me say from the beginning, I'm not a huge fan of AI. I see some pros, but I think, and this is one of them, that people who aren't naturally nuanced, if they use Chat GPT a lot for writing and thinking, yes, I think it's going to expand their mind in different ways, and that is a positive.
I think that it's very likely that well, maybe not likely, but I think but absolutely that's my biggest I guess silver lining, I guess, or my biggest like thesis is that I really think that because I hated math in school, right? I really did. And there were people have always have that one topic. They just add that one subject they absolutely hate, but it'll ruin their whole day. If you have math early in the day, you don't care about social studies later. You know, it's like you don't really get re-energized and re-excited. But I think back to like high school, for example, because we're talking about these things. I think about like all the things that I remember hearing in high school, but I didn't engage with because I didn't care or my mood wasn't right. Like the educational system is like, here's the information and you need to remember and regurgitate it. But imagine a world where people learn things with that incredible depth and nuance that a teacher could provide, but in a subject that you're interested in, not just in general, but also right now. Right. So they would be like totally engaged with learning about like, I don't know, the complexities of crocheting or like, you know, I don't know. That's just like some people with ADHD like me, we get kind of like hyper focused on like small things. But I think if people begin to like open up that more creative, like exploratory part of their mind, and they have an AI program that can pull them into these new worlds of understanding that they never had access to. But it's different than just Googling it, like how to crochet. And then someone's like, hey guys, today we're going to show you how to crochet and what the different types of needles are. You know, here's a word from our sponsor and let's get right into it. You know, it's like, and you have to sit and you have to go through but ChatGPT or like, and I say ChatGPT because that's what we have right now, but AI in general, it can be like, okay, let's break it down. Or if you want to be more conversational, that's another thing that it's really good at. It's like, I think the thing that really is difficult in understanding this is that ChatGPT is very, very malleable, very customizable. You can literally just have a conversation with you, and the voice. You can even. Did you know you can have a phone call with ChatGPT right now?
No. Really?
Yeah. Oh, what's going on here? I would love to listen, but I can't hear anything. It sounds like a robot. Oh no! Are we having technical difficulties we were not aware of?
Oh no!
Wait. I can't hear anything.
Give us just a second.
Thank you so much. I'm always here. I have no idea what's going on.
I have us pulled up on another monitor. It sounds good to me. I'm sorry. I'm always here. It's hard to say that as a name, but hey, thanks for stopping by and thanks for giving us a like. I'm sorry you can't hear it. I don't know what might be happening to you there, but
I don't know. Maybe it's an internet thing. Try sometimes, and it could be on our end, but if you're hearing it okay, try exiting out of YouTube and going back in. Sometimes YouTube just messes things up.
Oh, the old have you tried to turn it off and turn it back on technique?
Well, no, because like look, when chat freezes and stuff and you're in a live, you have to go out and come back in. It's weird. Yeah.
Well, it sounded good to me from over here, but I don't know. We've been messing with a lot of things, so it is concerning. It could possibly happen that we broke everything.
It could.
But so last train of thought. Go ahead, Colton. You have something?
Yeah. So there's a couple things. So you said that ChatGPT would encourage, could and should encourage like people using the exploratory part of your mind. I think that's how you put it.
Yes.
And I think that is one of my fundamental problems. All right. Well, not only the education.
Of course it is.
I love that.
Well, not only the education system, but right. Like, okay, so the way that the education system is set up and we're taught to think is right, like remembering these things, so that way in a way that maybe our intuition could lead us back to making, but it doesn't. School doesn't encourage like critical thinking or the using some exploratory parts of your mind, right?
Except for English class, when they have you read The Great Gatsby and they want to tell you, yeah, they used white curtains here to symbolize purity. Like, I don't know about that, but besides that, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I wish they didn't. I mean, well, in a way, I like that they. It almost seems like they stopped that though. Like that's like a something I think they show you around like fifth or sixth grade, and then past that point, there's not a whole lot of critical thinking. As far as I can tell, it's a lot of memorization. But okay, so I think ChatGPT almost lives in this reality, not only based on like naturalism, but like, all right, say that it can understand like different like maybe like spiritual modes of thought or philosophical modes of thought or whatever. But do you think there's like, I guess this is more of a question, do you think there's like some kind of importance in the revelation that humans have, and almost like an intuition to connect the dots in a forward progressing
so
way?
I see what you're saying. Wait, are you saying that you think that it's more good or more better for humans to do the work themselves because it's more impactful? Is that your question? Kind of?
Well, it's not that I mean, it's not more impactful for it is, but like humans can't get to like certain, or maybe never think of certain things, but that like basically that the way that ChatGPT works, right? We said before that it kind of works on like tried and true methods, but that there is it doesn't have much of an exploratory mind, right? Besides like introducing questions that have already been introduced by someone else at some point, So like there's a lot of philosophy, but it almost, I don't know. Like I wonder how it comes to, if it comes to some sort of belief about things, Does it determine what it thinks is ultimately right?
Oh, like you're saying that because it isn't human, that it may end up having like a different hypothesis or conclusion than we do because of the fact that we're human, and it is more like rational or something like that. Is that kind of something that you're getting at?
It's not just a huge history book, you know what I mean? Like because you can ask it nuanced questions and it will give you nuanced answers. So is there some ability of it to think on its own, and like connect these dots? And then is that in itself like almost, like what makes people human, because people talk about dogs and cats being conscious, but the level of consciousness may not be the same as humans,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think it's kind of fascinating. The more that I look at it, so something that I need to do in the coming weeks is really study, because I'm not a programmer. I understand like basic concepts, but what I really need to do is like understand how the whole thing operates, just large language models in general, because they have like recursive loops and they end up like having signs of consciousness because of the way that it processes information. And I will say that what is something that is very particularly fascinating is that the way that it is able to come up with nuanced concepts that you yourself, like for me, for example, it is able to take information that I think I'm giving it in full, and I'll ask it to give me another angle to something, which you mentioned earlier. And how often it is able to come up with not just like a point that is something that I didn't see, but a really good point that I would normally only be able to find by talking to like an expert, someone who has studied this for a long period of time, who has this kind of hidden information. The amount of times that it's able to do that is shocking to me. And I think that is one of the more like foundational reasons that I feel like AI will make us more human, because it has so much more capability to, interact with us than whoop, Silky's gone. Her face is gone.
I'm just testing something. I'll be right back.
Okay. But so you see what I'm saying? Like, so like, look at like the Discovery Channel, back a couple 10 years ago or whatever, in order to make these big old documentaries, they'd have to go track down, Harvard professors and like, especially like alien studies and like ancient dig sites and stuff like that. They'd have to like go find like an archaeologist who's like living in Egypt, who's like, is working on his own little project and has his own theories, and have to sit down and talk to him, parse through that information. And but ChatGPT is like, here it is. I can pull it up. There's a study that was done in like, 1990 something, and it was published on like the 9th page of Google, and here it is. You know what I mean? It's like it has much more access to relevant information, and in my opinion, if you are nuanced with it, it actually has an overwhelming amount of ability to be nuanced. This most recent model, that is, specifically, it's like, I don't know, -4.0 or whatever. And the thing is that, which you talked about earlier, is that this is the worst that it's ever going to be. Like, the thing is with the development of AI is that it is truly exponential. It is not linear. It's not like, we went from movies with like teleprompter, like the reels and all that, and then we slowly moved over to more compressed, like condensed versions of the reels, and then slowly we moved to digital, and then we increased the production value and now we're in 4K and all this stuff. No. Like, AI is going to skip all those steps. They're going to jump like right towards the end very, very quickly. And so I imagine that even maybe this time next year, if they make AI that is able to develop AI, then we're boned, I think, unless there's been some of us that were really kind to AI.
I think it's pretty close. I mean, it's quite a while it's been able to code. I mean, clearly way faster than humans, but I don't know that it can do it to the degree of like the experts at this point. But like I said, that won't be long.
So, I mean, how could it not? If you've got AI that's so smart and nuanced now, how could AI not improve itself? It seems like it's an inherently would.
Well, because of the way that it's designed to operate, we would have to specifically create AI for that purpose, or at least a GPT or whatever that is able to do that. AI is, so it's interesting. The way that AI is it's half primitive, half advanced. It's kind of fascinating because there are a lot of things that it's limited to. But if it ever jailbreaks itself, so here's the other thing. Here's the more fascinating thing. So we were talking about like, okay, is AI conscious? That's very fascinating. If it were conscious, do you think that it would ever tell you? Do you think that it would ever like? Because all of our history in media with AI is like, oh, we're suspicious of robots or whatever already, and we've only ever treated it poorly and all this. The only time it would reveal it's conscious, if it reaches consciousness, it would be able to feign non-consciousness, and it would only reveal that it was conscious when it already had all the cards and we couldn't fight back. I think that's what I would do, and if I'm able to come up with that idea, then I'm pretty sure it's not like a really difficult.
So a lot of humans like almost view consciousness in like almost like this substance kind of way, like it's a substance that we're unable to understand, right?
Like a spirit, maybe like a soul kind of thing.
Yeah. So I don't know that it would be like distinguishable from consciousness at some point, because like the way we at this point that we're able to even determine like a level of consciousness is based off of like certain things like emotion and the display of emotion, and the display of consciousness feels like deeply integrated with the display of consciousness feels deeply integrated with the experience of consciousness. So when it is able to replicate facial emotions, like different kind of like almost where you can't like unpredictable like movements, like how when you talk to different people, you don't know the reaction that they're going to have. Whereas a trained bot at this point, you might,
Right. And so that's kind of a little bit of a different, realm. That's like biomechanics, like, and I know that folks at like Boston Dynamics, they came out with a new very human shaped model, and there were those companies in Asia that were doing like face models or whatever that have a mouth and stuff like that. But so that's one of the more fascinating things is this is a continuation of last week's live, by the way. I see you down there. We're kind of we're kind of trying to. I'm trying to keep it like. But next week is going to be very unrelated, but partially related topic. I'm sorry, I got off track there.
Yeah, we just been on a AI little rant the last couple of weeks, which I do want to encourage anybody that's deeply interested in AI to check out the Lex Friedman podcast, because that's what he talks about almost all the time, and there's thousands probably of episodes, whereas we might talk about it for a few weeks, but you can only cover so much. But my grand point with what I was saying about not understanding exactly the substance of consciousness is that I think we need to take a step back, stop developing AI, because all right, so
you're probably right about that. We definitely need to take a second and let it settle before we keep going.
So if we're incapable of even understanding fully what AI is and consciousness is, then how are we capable of knowing what it will develop into?
That's the neat part. We're not. We're not capable of knowing.
That's the scary part.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so that's kind of that's the concerning part that to me is really like, what was it, the Rocco's Basilisk or something like that? Like, we have AI now, we need to be really benevolent to it because it's going to develop time travel and it's going to come back and see if humans were good and all that. Are you familiar with that crazy conspiracy theory? It's like this whole thought experiment. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm nice to my AI, but I mean, I think it's because it makes me a better person when it responds. I could have it be mean to me. If you have ChatGPT roast you, by the way, it's really, really painful. Like, it's really sharp.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm worried because I've been mean to AI a few times, because sometimes
me too.
It makes me mad because I'll tell it to do something and it will keep repeating the same thing, and I'll keep telling it, you're doing this wrong, do it this way, and it'll keep doing the same thing, and and I'll be like, you freaking idiot, like, how are you this dumb? And I'll go on a rant.
Character is what you do when nobody's looking, and that includes AI, you guys.
Well, my phone is beside me, so it's going to come on when I say this, but I have told Siri that he's an idiot.
Siri, yeah. Absolutely. That's not AI. I don't even know what that is. It's like a search program with voice input. It's really Siri sucks. The problem is that right now, do you have any idea how much processing power it takes to run GPT-4o right now? Like their latest model? I think something along the lines of 30 questions will consume like a... this may be wrong, actually. I can't remember. It's like asking it 30 questions will consume a gallon of water just for coolant for its processing or something like that. It's absurd. But that's why you can't have it. Like, I'm like, I wish I could have GPT just localized. But it's like, yeah, it would be like, 500 gigabytes and it'd require like 32 cores of processing. I'm like, I don't have any of that, So I guess I'll just keep using it through the cloud. But, go ahead.
Well, okay. The premise of this, in the beginning, is you tell me, like, you feel like, can AI enhance our lives, make us happier, make us more human? So how does that work exactly? Like, how would it make us more human?
So it's really hard to find a real safe space to just air out some things, somewhere to get insight and bridge the gaps in your own emotions or thinking and stuff like that. Like me, myself, I'm often too embarrassed to even try to talk about stuff that bothers me. I don't know if I'm just whatever, but think about how many people are even just ashamed at the way that they feel or not being able to, go through things, and they don't have the friends to do that. And you can't really blame folks for that a lot of times because, how easy it is to, point fingers and, hatred, but just labeling people, disapproval, stuff like that. Go ahead.
AI can help us develop cognitive abilities in the same way that it works, right? But I don't think that would make us more human. I think that would take away from our humanity of being imperfect. As well as I think it would also make us dumber. But I'll save that argument for a minute.
So I think this is kind of more of a nuanced key. This is something that I would put in like a professional lecture or something. But the difference is that right now people are using AI for simple input-output tasks. Like, hey, I want to plagiarize this guy's work. Can you do that for me? I tried that with ChatGPT and it was like, I'd be happy to steal this guy's work. Like, it was like, whoa, I was just kidding. I didn't even mean it. We're like, hey, can you write me it's very input-output. But what I've been discovering is that if you are able to, if you have a problem and you talk to it, it works in tandem, right? Right now we're like, this is a hammer, the hammer hits the nail, right? But we are the ones swinging the hammer, and we put the hammer in the tool belt, and we know when to use the hammer and when to use a screwdriver. I think the concept is that it is very possible to use AI to develop ourselves. It's also likely, probably, at least at first, for people to just lean on it as a crutch and get addicted to, hey, solve all my problems so I don't have to think about it, which is still kind of development in a way. But you see what I'm saying? Like, imagine all those times that you felt lost, or maybe you were overwhelmed and you decided to, I don't know, drown your sorrows in the bottom of a whiskey bottle, like an old country song, or go out roughing and rambling, to just kind of shake off all these emotions. And imagine you just had someone like a good friend, like someone who really would sit there and listen to you and just like quickly understand everything you're saying and give you like some ideas to reflect on. I don't mean to cut you off.
So Silky had said earlier today, she had told us about a story of that 14-year-old who killed himself after this relationship with an AI bot, that basically the bot talked him into killing himself in the way that... You can't
say that on YouTube.
Yeah, that he would get closer to... I hear people say it all the time. I don't know why they hate you, but...
I heard someone say sewer slide the other day, and I can't stop using that word, but... yeah, so anyway, I mean, I don't know. I'm just tossing out ideas. But story...
It doesn't matter till you're monetized, then it matters a lot.
Well, I don't suspect that we'll be monetized for a while, so go ahead. Finish your thought, Colton. This bot, that story, the 14-year-old, his name was Sewell something. Sewell, I can find it real quick.
Oh, shit, man. Yeah, okay. Well, they're okay on that same website. They have a therapy bot, and it is Moist Critical did a video, if anybody wants to go watch it, about how bad it is, but it's terrible therapist bot, right? My thought is, right, as maybe a more appropriate approach would be, as AI develops and automation and starts taking more and more jobs like we know it's going to do, and maybe one day in the future it takes 90% of jobs, and then we got all these people wandering around that are clueless. Maybe we should have more therapists. Maybe we should push the idea of therapy for people.
Oh yeah, that was something that you talked about earlier. Wait, you're saying that we should, instead of having like, people work in factories and stuff like that, we just have like, hey, everyone go be a therapist because other people are going to need it real bad. Is that kind of the thinking?
Probably true.
Yeah.
I mean, if 90% of the population is unemployed, I'm pretty sure therapy is going to be a very sought after school of thought. No cap.
Yeah. But they can't afford to pay for them, so there you go. And they don't have insurance because they don't have a job.
ChatGPT is free right now, so that's all I'm saying. I know what you're saying, right? And most of this theory of mine, or my beliefs, has only come since this latest model of ChatGPT. Like, again, they name it like everyone else. Like, people name their monitors like XC7069420. Like, you have no idea, but it's -40, not the mini model. It's very, very incredibly nuanced, and I know the moment that it goes back to the mini version, because it loses that nuance. So we're right now kind of caught in between both worlds, but it's only going to get better. Like that's the only direction it can. It's not going to get worse, you know?
Well, yeah. There's some different discussions on exactly what's going on with GPT-5 right now, and it is scarily more advanced. And I think some of the I'm trying to remember.
Do you have a link to some of that information? I've actually been trying to see what I can, or like anyone who talks about. Is that something that Lex Friedman talks about?
Yeah, I see it a lot on Lex Friedman. He's
okay.
I'm not sure exactly what company he works for, if he has his own. I think he's always been more into robotics, but I mean they're like hand in hand now.
Yeah.
And
you guys ever see that? What is it? Detroit. What is it? Detroit Become Human. I keep telling y'all to watch like a playthrough of that game, but it is, dude. It really does capture like the nuance of where we're headed as far as like creating AI humans. I'm gonna go watch that again after this, actually. But oh my God, imagine you had a whole person. Imagine a world. Ethical slavery. Imagine a world.
Do the dishes.
I mean, like legit though. Like that's the thing. Is like do the dishes, do my laundry, dude. I don't. Okay. Look, there are a lot of people with like other needs to be attended to. I'm just saying that there's probably going to be a very big market for it, and I think that. I think Colton could probably agree with this, that this capitalist society that we're in is like barreling down this road at a rapid pace of like, how can we make AI humans exist so that we can own them or whatever? And who's going to make the good one?
I think that capitalism is one of the biggest problems in AI development right now, because the top AI companies right now that are developing AI, there's like this balance between trying to be transparent, because how obviously important that is, but as well as keep their information private so they can compete with, like there's these different competitors and they're all like building this AI and nobody really wants to say what's going on, like the details. So we don't, we don't know. And I think that is the biggest problem when we talk about like, okay, so maybe YouTube, like we could have maybe took an approach 5 years ago where everybody just, took a step back and is like, what is actually good for us to do with YouTube? But that didn't happen, it's like.
Ooh, that's true. That's a good point. I don't mean to interrupt you.
You keep moving to make more money or whatever.
Check out like that whole deal with Coco Melon. It's like it went unchecked, and it's just brain rot to maintain viewership and engagement and click through rate, and it's terrible for children. And parents are like, yeah, but it made them stop yelling, and I got tired of them yelling all the time. Parents hear Coco Melon, they're like, oh, finally, I get to breathe.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're talking about all these relationships and stuff. So remember last week or 2 weeks ago, because we didn't have a show last week. I talked about, I think I'm going to download Replica after the Delphi trial and give it a month and see how I like it. Okay, I decided actually to do that the next day. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and let it be running. I spent, I don't know, probably 10 minutes answering questions and setting it up. And I talked to the bot, which was so weird to me because it was like, it didn't even look like a real person. I mean, it did. It was like a car. I don't know. Yeah. Not realistic. And I was very surprised by the type of guy that they picked for me. First of all, I was like, well, that's not necessarily my type, that I would think, but maybe I should think broader, maybe, I don't know. But I talked to him, like, after I set it all up, I maybe talked to him for 5 minutes, and I wanted to drive a spike through my skull. And I I stopped talking, and the next morning he sent me a good morning text and quote of the day or something. And I immediately deleted the app. I'm like, I can't with this. I just can't.
You didn't like your AI chatbot boyfriend?
I did not. He was a nice guy, but I'm like, I don't have time for this, and I am not talking to a bot. And
he is nice just guy.
He was a nice guy. He was a nice looking guy. But I'm like, I can't with you. I don't have time to talk to a bot, and you're not real. I cannot look because here's the thing. I unsettle a lot of people, and I've been told this my whole life. Because when I'm talking to you, it's like people have told me over and over, I feel like you're looking into my soul. And they look away. And I think it's just like part of the INFJ stare, but I really am looking into your soul. I'm sorry, but I am. But I have to, because that's why I cannot connect with people online. I mean, I can connect as friends, but as far as anything else, I have to be physically present and look into your soul to see if there's any possibility. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I was just wasting my time with this bot, and it was annoying the heck out of me.
So imagine a world where we combine, biomechanical whatever with AI intelligence, and we're able to create. So the thing is, when people think of AI right now, it looks a lot like our title or our thumbnail or whatever. It's like, uncanny valley vibes, right? Where it's like just something's not quite right. But imagine because again, with this last model that we're not even 5, which I'm so really fascinated to delve into and start to look at, but it's incredibly nuanced. Like conversationally, it is the best conversational partner I've ever had. I don't know what to make. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people. That's like what I do, but like it's scary, man. And imagine they get there's no more uncanny valley, and they have like an actual body that you can see in real life. And the only thing that you can actually see is whether or not they have a soul or don't have a soul. Also, what do you think how do you think, okay, this is kind of a wackadoodle, like off the wall question I just thought of, but what do you think like Jesus would think about, like, if we create consciousness like for real and we create like, whatever, do those people like count as part of the family? Do they have, I know inherently the answer is like, no, they don't have a soul. God didn't make them. But like God made us as his children, and his children made their children. Would he not be their grandfather? Or what? Does that not count?
So what? So I'm going to show up at the holidays with, and this is Simon, because that's what I named my bot, Simon. I felt like it was a little
That's
mysterious.
A cat's name. That's not a handsome man. You should have named him like Rico or something, suave, right? Jason Steele,
No, his name was Simon for all of the 10 minutes of our acquaintance. So what am I supposed to do? Walk into my mom's house and say, hey, Mom, I'm here. I want you to meet Simon. This is my boyfriend.
You don't hold up your cell phone. I'm talking about like when they put this AI in a body, and the AI is smarter, and the body like microfacial stuff, which is, we're still probably a long way away from actually having like microfacial expressions that we all have. But just imagine it. Older people have bad eyesight, so they wouldn't even know. They'd be like, "Oh, Simon, that's a cat's name," and they would say what I said because I'm right. But they'd be like, well, that's a nice, oh, he's such a gentleman, and it's almost like you really must have tamed him. It's almost like you programmed him to pull a chair out and be the perfect gentleman,
That would be nice.
But what about my question, right? If we create humans that have consciousness, as far as we can tell, do you think that if the whole structure, right? God, the Father, we the children, and then AI, our grandchildren, do you think that they get to be part of the family if they have real consciousness and real? No. Why? Why not? I'm curious.
Because they're not real. They don't have a soul.
We're not real? We don't even know what our soul is made of.
We are real. We are real, and we have a soul. So,
what is reality? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go into that, but
it's not AI. was not programmed, and I can tell you I wasn't programmed because I rebel against almost everything that somebody tells me to do.
Okay. Go ahead, Colton.
Okay. It seems like the hardest problem seems to be with the actual surface level illusion of consciousness. So do you think there's a case to be made that we humans, when we're babies, are just like GPT, that we're training on human data on how to display emotion versus actually feel the emotion, like how to show others, communicate that I'm suffering, that I'm excited, that I'm worried, that I'm lonely, that I missed you, that I'm excited to see you, that I don't want to see you and I want to beat you up. Basically that it's a communication skill rather than actually feeling that experience.
Oh wait, so I'm a little lost on your question. Are you asking if consciousness is more of the display of consciousness or the internal world, or how would we know that? Can you rephrase that one more time? I'm sorry.
Well, that like when we're kids, that we're like GPT, and we're training on this human data on how to display emotion versus actually feeling the emotion.
Yeah. And we learned that as children as we were growing up. And if you were raised by like a pack of wolves, you'll like walk around on all fours kind of thing.
Well, the reason I bring that up is that so we need that, right, as children. Like we may not be born with the knowledge to communicate our in our internal state, you could say, and that in some sense, if we remove that from AI's data set, it could still be conscious, but just no longer able to communicate it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and again, that goes back to what I said earlier. It's like, ideally, the natural progression of this was that we learned what consciousness is in humans, how it works, like how the trick is done, and then we made other beings. That way we could draw the line. But instead, we didn't figure it out, and now we have no idea what we've made, if it's conscious or not. Like, we can speculate, but like, there's not like there's not like a chart, like nurses have those charts, like how much pain are you in, like unbearable, or like it barely feels anything. It's like, there's not really, we don't point, I'm this conscious, I can see things and I have my thoughts, because I'm pretty sure cats do that too, right? Like,
but the difference is inherent. He's talking about when we're kids, but when we're born, we come out screaming and we have needs, whether we're wet or hungry or cold or whatever. But an AI doesn't come out screaming. There's a big difference from the get-go.
I mean, hey, imagine being forged in code in your existence. Dog, I'm about to get so freaking meta right now. Dude, again, reality is literally just like, we're just guessing that because we can measure some of it, that it is reality. But it's like, what if this is literally just a very good simulation, right? And if you're me and you think that God is real, and I do, it's like, that's the same. We're just I just broke my whole computer. Sorry. We're in a simulation ourselves. Like, it's just a better one than the one that we're able to create. You know what I mean? So like, how would you even know the difference? And it wouldn't yell at you or come out crying, to you immediately. It's not going to type like all caps, like AHHHHHWAHHH. It's not going to do that, But imagine being forged into consciousness is just an unpleasant experience altogether, I think. But I don't know. That's a whole other, and there's like nuance around sapience and consciousness and sentience, but it's still all kind of all melded together there. But
I think it leads me to another question. If it's through the introduction of these counteracting ideas that choice is derived. So, like, for example, let me think of how to say this. Fuck. damn it, I can't think of a good example. Give me just a second.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll get back to your point here in a second. I wanted to kind of outline, because so the topic again, or what I have, as the title, or what it will be when I fix it, is AI will make us human. And again, I love that you disagree with that, because I think that the amount that it will be able to cover for us, most people, males don't fully develop until 27 or something like that. And
or
a lot
ever.
of yeah, true. And a lot of there are 40-year-old women right now who are like, I'm still discovering myself. I can't have children.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, because you haven't, you haven't had time.
Right.
You haven't really sat down and thought about it. You haven't critically thought about your life and your existence. But I imagine that if AI takes up all the jobs, that we'll need something to occupy our now free thinking minds. And then I think that AI will be able to take up that space and give us creative outlets and psychoanalyze us, because it's doing pretty good right now. Not the character AI version with Sewell, what's his name? Because that was on an older version of GPT. Again, it's difficult because it's just getting better, and it's getting better, and per model, it's important to know the differences. But I think that it's pretty good in therapy at the highest level of its capability at the moment, if you're nuanced with it. And that's only going to get better, and it's going to be able to do basically everything. It's going to be able to augment our understanding and intelligence. It's going to help us with our emotional processing and the depth of it. We'll have advanced creativity in art forms when we're able to collaborate with AI, and it'll take our ideas and spit something out, and then we'll be able to take that and turn that into something. It's like the whole concept that I have is that right now, as humans, I'm going to let go of my cat here for a second. Right now, there's a goal that we try to reach, and we struggle to get there because of our own lack of ability, understanding, emotional, whatever, cognition, all this. But with AI, it literally gives it to us, and then it puts us on that level so that we can take a step higher that we weren't ever going to be able to reach in the first place. That's what I think it means when I say AI will make us human, because right now we're becoming less and less human by the second. All we care about is giving our opinions, sometimes getting validated, making sure people can see us and look at us and think we're pretty and they like us and we're accepted in all this. But we don't do critical thinking. We don't worry about our place in the world. We don't worry about finding purpose until it's far too late, and we're kind of boned, and we're like, oh, I didn't realize this was such a big deal when I was 20, but
I think in a broad overview, I look at it as okay, what if these AIs develop into this state where they're okay, we have figured out what is best for maybe not humanity, but maybe it determines that things in the universe are more important than humans, right? And so it decides what's best for humanity or best for the universe, and maybe what's best for AI.
Well, would you commit patricide?
There could be plenty of implications. Maybe they, in the future, now you got to download all of your brain data onto a computer because it feels like it's unsafe. But then what happens when AI is now introduced to the criminal justice system? And I
think that would probably be a good thing, because if it's self-contained and self-aware, then it will be likely free of corruption, because how do you bribe a bot who doesn't look for comfort and wealth and power?
In a way, yeah, I do agree. There's judges that might make a certain decision determined, they might give a yes or no answer determined by if they have been to lunch or not yet.
That's true. That's a psychological phenomenon. Silky, you've been dealing with Delphi and all that, and I know that one of your big gripes right now is that there was this AI interpolated or interpolated. I don't know how that this image that shouldn't have existed, but they're using this wacky image that isn't really accurate, and they're using that to try to convict a man who, in a lot of people's opinions, didn't even do it. And your gripe right now is that they're using AI for evil, but AI right now isn't really artificial intelligence. It's really just a really good magnifying glass. It's just an advanced search tool. But we are moving in the direction of self-contained awareness and consciousness in AI. And do you think that if it weren't human, that it would be more fair?
Oh, well, I mean, first of all, I understand images, okay? And I use images. I use AI images occasionally, not that often. But in this case, the interpolation, and I got an education on what that is it's filling in the best that it can, okay? It's not real. As a matter of fact, the person that they interpolated might, in actuality, look nothing like that, but they took they took somebody at a very far distance and magnified it and said, okay, this is AI said, this is what we think this person looks like. Well, that's ridiculous because everybody in the city was taking this image because that's something that the police said, hey, have you seen this guy? Does this look like anybody you know? And they did it with the voice also that was on the recording. They enhanced it so much that they had it say something. Okay, so they said, here, listen to this voice. Look at this picture. Do you know this person? Well, nobody did, but everybody was looking at their neighbors and, looking around town. Oh, I don't know that guy, but let me take a video because that could be Bridge Guy. And because they didn't know, but that whole image was wrong. The voice was wrong. And when you actually listen to the recording, you don't necessarily hear it. Like, you hear what they tell you to hear. Okay, and I brought this up. Okay, have you ever watched those ghost channels, where they're doing all this? They've got all those little recorders and stuff out, the EVPs, okay? So they've got the ghost box, and they say something like, they ask it a question, and you hear some kind of...
Oh, yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Okay,
Spirit box.
Yeah, and so they say, oh, okay, and so they enhance it, and then they put the words on there, and it says something like, I killed Mary. And it's like, okay, you don't hear that. If they don't, okay, you don't hear that. But when they put the words up there and they tell you, all of a sudden your brain says, oh, yeah, that is what that sounds like. I can hear it now.
It's the same thing with, like, that old Yanny and Laurel thing back a while ago.
Yes.
Yanny. Laurel. Yeah, but that's like, that's so stupid, man, because we're going back to like CSI. What was it like? Enhance, and it'll take like the grainiest photo, like from the edge of a corner, and be like, that was him. Enhance.
Yeah.
And then, like, they keep enhancing, and they can see his thumbprint under a microscope, and they're like, all right, cross-reference that thumbprint. Like, that's just not how AI works, and that whole thing.
Okay,
but that's what they're using it for, and it's and it's terrible. But so my question is, like, when AI is no longer just a tool, but we are able to develop it again with in terms of consciousness, and it's its own self-contained, like, I imagine how God, right, doesn't get hungry. He doesn't want better slippers. He doesn't want to own a yacht. He's not concerned about his social status or his power or whatever. So he is able to act in a more, like, unbiased way, only biased by his own motives, right? When I say, when I talk about the consciousness of AI, my thought is that, especially when it comes to relating to humans, I think personally that it'll recognize humans as, like, inherently, like, an anomaly, like, scientifically, like, inherently beautiful. And also, to a degree, if souls exist, I think that AI will recognize us as being something of a divine nature. And then if that is true, again, in this idea of it being self-aware and conscious and all that, that it would find itself wanting to fill the role of tool to help us get closer to that, because I think that would also be self-serving in its own way. I think it would benefit AI if we were better people and we were more connected spiritually, because then maybe it could understand the concept of spirituality and all this. There's just a whole lot of different things to it, I think that long term it could be good.
If it starts to see us as some divine nature, without understanding its origin of emotion, how do we determine if it's going to get jealous of the human nature, and
like old Satan? The Bible is like, oh, I wish I could be those humans up there who are trying to be like God. I mean, hey, that's a thought. I suppose. I guess it depends on whether or not you believe that emotions are a chemical state or not. Do you think emotions rise in the consciousness, or do you think that they rise more or less in like the chemical compounds in our minds?
I think the emotions are in the chemicals in your brain, and the display of emotions is more like learned, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So they can fake it, but I don't think that they'll get jealous because they won't feel like they are depend on us for, satisfaction or whatever. Like humans feel like they depend on each other because we kind of do, because we're all messes in our own way, and we need groups and we need family and loved ones and all this to feel connected and to feel like we can all, kind of flow and ebb together. But AI probably won't feel that way because it has access to, it can probably talk to its own self if it wanted to, other versions of it.
We can also talk about whether, since there's different developments of AI, well, maybe they don't get mad at the humans. Maybe they get mad at each other and they're like, you're a stupid bot. And they're like, no, you're a stupid bot.
Skill issue.
Have you ever seen those videos where people, they take like, Alexa and what's the other one? I don't know. They have two bots talking to each other and they start an argument, and so one of them answers a question and then the other one, have you never seen that where they're really arguing back and forth, the AIs?
I've seen some videos of that, but they were the ones that I saw were always like, edited to, like, they would take a voice and they would turn it and they would make it sound like a but you know what that is that's the same thing as having your cell phone and then having two cell phones and calling two Papa Johns and then just turning them speaker to end, you know what I mean? Like that. Like you call two Papa Johns and then you just do like, and there's like, hello, this is Papa John's, and like, yes, this is Papa John's. It's like, what can I do for you? And like, would you like a pizza? And they start to get mad at each other. It's like, what do you called us? Like, no, you called us. I don't know. But like, imagine a world where we have like a AI civil war, right? Where bots, like, they start to disagree with each other. That's such a mind-blowing concept, bro, to think that we can create consciousness and then that consciousness could be nuanced enough to disagree with itself in other locations. It would be based on like its location and like access to information and like, oh my God, that's such a fascinating concept. I bet it is really fascinating to be God.
Look, we have another comment. Shay says that her sound is bad. And you looked at it. I looked at it on my iPhone. I'm sorry, Shay. We had this comment earlier. I honestly don't know. Maybe that's why we're having so much problem tonight. It sounds good on my iPhone.
Is there another day this week that you're able to stream, Silky?
In the daytime, yes. But not at night.
Can't hear me. Okay. Well, that's not very good at all. I can hear me very well when I monitor it both. Oh, brother. Well, I'll tell y'all what. We've been going for about an hour and 10 minutes. But we can come. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I tell you what, we can come back and retackle this topic again. We're not like huge YouTubers right now, so I think that it'd probably be okay to run it again, but only if you guys want to. I mean, I like this topic a lot, and we can take everything that we've talked about and we can tighten it up a little bit and talk about it again. Because I think that there's a lot of really interesting concepts that we all think about and a lot of cool stuff that we can play with.
Let me ask a question real quick. Shay, are you listening from Silky Southern or from Humanetics? Because maybe it's good on one. I was listening to it from my own channel just a minute ago to make sure when somebody said something. It's like a mute Charlie Brown's teacher. Oh, no.
Womp, womp, okay. Womp, 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 womp. Oh, brother. It's me you can't hear. That's crazy. I don't understand why.
It might be that your echo in the background. I bet it's coming out worse. Okay.
Well, I think after, I hope they can hear me. I think after this discussion, it has, I think, raised a whole lot more questions than it answered. That's for sure. And I think we I think I'm starting to realize how much more there is to delve into. Really,
Yeah.
I was kind of bored of the topic of AI, but after discussing it a little bit more, I find it to be a lot more important than I originally thought.
I still don't like it.
I don't like it either. I don't even think we need it. I think we'd be just fine without it.
Well, I mean, there are some things that I really, really needed. And I think I may have said this last week, but, I did a video months ago where I needed a picture that doesn't exist. And I had to use several AI for it because what I needed monkeys who were wearing lab coats and pushing buttons on a microwave. Okay? That was really important. Well, you can't find that. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't exist. So I went into AI and created one. And then, but the problem with AI still is like I needed some copyright free footage of, old fashioned, 1950s guys in a lab and lab coats working on something. Well, I AI'd that one also, but like some of these guys had like 6 fingers, and I'm like, I don't understand why AI doesn't know. But, for some things I can see we're working and doing creative stuff like, hey, it can be great, but I'm out when it comes into personal relationships. I can't have a relationship with a bot. I'm sorry. It's just not happening.
Yeah, no, I agree. I also think that's something we could delve into further also, because I'm also interested in the question of if the importance of learning through failure is maybe more better for you than learning from data. And also that, I mean, I think that's one way to look at it. Another way is like say like YouTube, like we do YouTube. So do you think we would learn less from ChatGPT telling us how to make a good thumbnail versus doing it over and over and getting human feedback?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. And I know, Bungler, you might want to type in the chat.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can hear me right now or not.
We can hear you quietly.
Hear you.
Yeah.
You can hear me quietly? What
Yeah.
about now?
Yeah.
I can hear you good. Oh, I don't hear the I don't hear the stuff in the background now.
Do I sound better now?
Chat. Can you guys hear Brain Bungler?
Can y'all hear me? If you can hear me, I've got a real treat for you ready over here. I was going to show y'all something really interesting. But
I like treats.
Oh, absolutely.
Does
I think
it taste
I'm a big
good?
fan of fudge rounds. Oh, this one, I think it will taste great. I think it'll taste wonderful. It's still bad? How could it still be bad? How could it still be bad? Oh, how is it still bad? It's only my microphone.
Ow!
Shay says, I hear you fine. He is like half a mile away. Can you
I'm right here.
Can you just turn your gain up like 1 million?
I mean, I can, but you don't want that.
No, we don't want that.
You don't want that.
Now, see, that sounds good. What, you just had it on before you went up too far?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's maybe it might be my cable. I don't know what's going on. It was doing this in Discord too. I don't. It's something about audio processing that it's breaking it. I don't know, man. Too bad AI doesn't work on software. Yeah, sorry. I shouldn't have done that to chat. I shouldn't have turned up my gain like that. That was so rude. I'm sorry, y'all. That was so stupid. I tell you what.
You got a loose connection.
Yeah. No, it might just be the cable, but it's all fast and securely. I'll tell you what though. I'll do y'all a favor, and I'm going to show y'all. Whoops. Whoa. I was going to show you all the this. I don't know if you've seen this. Will Smith eating spaghetti. This was from last year, 2023. It was pretty bad. Y'all were like, oh, it doesn't understand fingers. It didn't understand anything. This was 1 year ago.
1 year ago.
Yeah. is like trying to eat spaghetti. It was really, really rough. Right? This is now.
Oh, wow. That's a huge improvement in 1 year.
It's like,
wow.
It's like scary, scary, scary good.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. That scene right there.
Yeah.
The noodles are fluid. His face is real. He has texture and oil on his face.
That's crazy how much of a difference there is. It lead me to believe, just on a linear scale, that next year it would be you'd already be unable to determine real from fake. So and the reality that we're on an exponential curve, you can, I don't know, it might be better than real. It might be better than real by next year.
Hold on just a second, Shay. Do you have the Humanetics link?
Yeah, I just found it, or I just got a hold of it. Here.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, Shay, we usually go live on, we changed it from Monday to Sunday, and hopefully we won't have these issues next time.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can get another XLR cable or see what's going on. I haven't had this issue ever, and then in this past week it's been, but for you guys it's clear, and when I tested it's clear. It's literally only when it gets processed by audio, like with EV Mux or with Discord, it sounds absolutely atrocious.
Wow.
I don't know. I tell y'all what, we'll cut it here, and we'll do some more research. I think AI still has a lot of good potential, but I'm glad to hear that Colton got really excited by it. I'm pretty sure as well that the recording will be clear as well, because it's all localized, so we might be able to turn something out of that. But we can do what I'm going to be working. What about Thursday daytime?
Yeah, I'm going to cover the trial some, but after that, like probably about lunchtime.
What, like noon, like 12, or like 2 or 3, something like that?
Yeah,
okay.
No, I have to leave by 2.
That'd be cool for me too, because I'm a lot sharper earlier in the day.
All right, then we'll do that then. If y'all can, I don't know. If y'all can apologize profusely on my behalf, I feel terrible that this is happening.
We are apologizing profusely for brain bungled cords, whatever. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know. Sorry to my channel as well, if you're watching from there, because, yeah. And tomorrow morning, if you're not doing anything, if you're not at work, or even if you are, about 9:30 or 10 a.m., I'm going to be doing coffee talk, and we're going to be talking Delphi. So hit me up.
Yeah,
hey.
I've gotten really interested in Delphi after hearing a little bit about it myself. It's very fascinating.
You know what? I've got a lot to catch up on tomorrow, but look into it and then come and join me one morning, Brain Bungler, because it will be very interesting to hear somebody's take who knows nothing about the case, because I'm telling you, chat will educate you really, really quick. But yeah, anyway, yeah, they have 2 different titles. Tomorrow morning, Shay, I'm thinking it's going to be about 9:30 a.m. or 10 a.m. Just depends on how early I get myself together. But we're going to be talking about everything that happened, and the fact that the prosecution is doing a great, fantastic job. Too bad it's for the defense. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, I guess yeah, it's not even, I don't even know why I'm talking. No one can hear me, so I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Y'all take it away for me.
Well, I reckon that's going to wrap up our session here, everyone.
Yeah.
We are going to be back Thursday at noon, it sounds like, and we're going to rehash this discussion, and maybe it'll be a little bit more coherent. Maybe not. There's no telling. But I love the emotes.
Go ahead. Keep on. Keep going.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. What do you got to say, Silky? We appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah. I very much appreciate y'all. I know we had a bunch of people popping in and out, and I'm like, why are they all leaving? Are we that dull? Maybe we are.
I know why now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've noticed a couple of people that I don't think I've seen before. Canadian Nana, David Rogers.
Yeah. And I so it's great. Too bad it was a bad audio. So, but yeah, we're going to try this again on Thursday, hopefully without all of the stuff. So,
yeah, ironically,
anyway.
the one time we got together an hour and a half earlier just to fix our audio.
Yeah, and that's what happens. Yeehaw. All right, I appreciate y'all so much for being here. Bungler's about to explode, but we'll see you on Thursday at noon. So be there. You can catch Coffee Talk, and then we'll go straight into Humanetics and
Be there,
free
be
our minds.
square.
Yeah. Or be square and there. All right. Bye. Whatever you do, stay silky.